Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
Oh, fabulous. I'm going to even be better here in a bit because we're going to talk with somebody I enjoy talking to. We have Tuesdays with Charlie coming up. Get your papa on the way. So, you excited?
That's my favorite part of the week, honestly.
Yeah, the rest of the week she's usually checked out. But during that 1 5-minute segment, she's actually awake every week. Hey, I got a quote from Warren Buffett, speaking of brilliant minds. We weren't speaking of brilliant minds?
I think we were.
Okay. It says, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. Warren Buffett. Absolutely smart. Very wise man. And
good advice.
That is very good advice. So, true. Think about how many people have been disgraced by some dumb mistake that they've made, some bad decision they've made. Don't do that. Don't fall into those traps. Think things through first. Coming up in a bit, we've got a lot of special things to talk about for today. That's all on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Tuesday, May the 30th. Today is Loomis Day. Today is also Shavuot. And today is Mint...
What is Shavuot?
I don't know. I was hoping that you wouldn't
You're
ask.
just going to gloss over that one?
I don't know what Loomis Day is either, so... I pause when I know what I'm talking about, and then I usually ask you. It's also Mint Julep Day. And my question for you, Heidi, is have you ever had a mint julep?
I don't believe... Oh, you know what? I think I have. They're kind of creamy, and yeah, I think I have.
Mint julep-y?
Yes, they're very good.
I have not had a mint julep.
You would like it.
We were going to do Kentucky Derby Day one time. Remember that? We talked about doing it, and you bought the hats for it and everything.
I did.
I wasn't going to wear one of the hats. But, we had this big plan that we had stick horses. We're so stupid.
It would be awesome.
We were going to have a big party, and I think you had the recipe for those at that time.
I did.
So we'll have to do that one of these days. But today would be a good day. It's Mint Julep Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Ladies, how far would you let me try that again.
What's that?
How would you react? There we go. If your husband gave you a love letter, but then later you found out that it was an automated form letter, that it wasn't from his heart, it was some letter that was churned out of a machine.
That's no different than a greeting card.
Oh, hey, see, that's a good way to look at it, Heidi. Well, China's Kirtan Daily reports that there's a new software program called Magic Love Letters. And it's become a huge seller in China. Users just type in the sender's name and the recipient's name, and the software can generate more than 10,000 different love letters. It has over 100 classic love letters, and users can just switch the names. One university professor said, it's not a bad thing because it can help some people express their inner feelings, end quote. And I agree with what Heidi just said. Really, it's no different than getting a card.
No, it's not.
The difference, I say, would be this. If you're passing this off as something that came from your heart, then that's probably the difference.
Right.
Because in the card, you're not going, wow, did you seriously have this card specifically printed just for me? No, Hallmark did that for me, but I thought it fit the situation really well. And I filled in that other thing.
I think it's sweet. The fact that somebody would even take the time to get that software and do that sort of thing for you shows that they care. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. So I don't know. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Are you looking at me because I'm a big slough over here and I haven't done a love letter for you in a long time?
It's been a long time.
Did I say slough? What is that? Slouch?
I have no idea.
Whatever I am. I'm
no
a big
idea.
old dope. I'm going to start working on my love letter.
No, that's all right. I really don't need them.
All right. I'm going to start here. Yeah. Dear Heidi, I'm going to have to work on this. Roses are red. Violets are blue. No? Okay. Hey.
And actually, those were the majority of the letters I used to get from you.
They were usually pretty corny. Did you save them all?
I do have them all in a box.
Can you just give them to me and I'll start handing them back to you again, one at a time? I'll pick one that fits. Anyway, this is happening over in China, and there's people that think it's great. There's other that think it's awful. I think it's okay. And anyway, I can tell you, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Don't you hate it when you move into a new place and then you realize you forgot some of your stuff at the other place? Well, that's what happened to Samuel Wood and Justin Bright of Twin Falls, Idaho. Unfortunately for them, what they left behind was 21 pounds of marijuana.
Oh, boy.
They're going to be moving again, by the way. This time the new address is the jail cell.
The big house.
They're going to be going there for a little while. 21 pounds of marijuana? I'm not a marijuana guy, so I don't know how much that is, but that sounds like a lot.
That does sound like a lot.
21 pounds. Our dog only weighs, what, 5 pounds?
5 pounds.
So that'd be like 4 of our dogs.
Very good.
I'm good with math.
Math on the fly.
I did math. I'm mathily challenged, if that's a thing. I'm not good with math. However you say that, that's what I have. What would you call it if you struggle with math? What am I?
You struggle with math.
I'm an idiot. That's what I am. Anyway, that's what I am. I don't do math very well, but I got that part right. 21 pounds of marijuana. And kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. And a kid from Arizona was in trouble for bringing a banned substance to school 2 days in a row. Guess what it was, Heidi?
What's that?
Ketchup. Yeah, the
Why
principal
would ketchup
says.
be banned?
Well, the school called the parents of several others as well who were bringing bottles of ketchup to school. The smugglers began doing this after the school limited students to 3 packets of ketchup per hamburger. That seems like a lot. And they started charging 25 cents for extra. That just seems like a lot. 3 packets for a hamburger? That's a lot of ketchup, isn't it?
Have you had a school hamburger recently?
Yeah, you probably. I don't know. I have not. No. It says you can bring your own packets from home, but bottled ketchup was banned because the school says it was a health code violation. Okay, doesn't seem to be a health code violation in every restaurant I've ever been to in America, but to be fair,
it's being brought in from outside, so nobody is monitoring.
Well, the reason this whole thing was adopted is because of what the kids were doing. They were taking the ketchup packets and squirting them all over the sidewalks and hallways.
Oh, well, then they brought it on themselves.
So the kids brought it on themselves, but these kids were going, hey, guy, got to have some ketchup, man. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just 1 or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
Now your scoop of the day. An unnamed 47-year-old man from Germany faces a parking fine of $98 or 10 days in prison. Police said they were stunned when he called and said, "Come pick me up. I can't wait to get away from my constantly nagging wife." He said, "I'm looking forward to some peace and quiet. 10 days of solitude."
I hate to be a nagging wife, but I'm pretty sure you've told me this story.
I don't think I've told you that before. I don't think so at all. Hey, a British company called Windhorse Aerospace thinks they figured out the key to solving the humanitarian crisis of edible drones. Yeah, I didn't know that was a crisis. This is an interesting idea. It says, I don't think they're going to eat the drones, but that's a dumb name for them. But its unmanned Pouncer prototype is currently in the works to have a wingspan of 9 feet. It would be constructed of various different items of food, and then it would drop supplies and then itself into a territory in need of aid. So I guess it would be.
It would be edible. Weird.
So it's a drone that would fly in, drop other food, and then drop itself, and you could consume the drone.
Okay.
Do you think drones would taste good? If you'd like to read more about that.
Not if you only had 3 packets of ketchup.
If you'd like to read more about that, I've got it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. This might put a smile on your face. Experts at Wayne State University in Michigan found that people who grin a lot live 7 years longer than stony-faced folks. Researchers studied photos of 230 baseball players from 1952. Of the 184 players who died since, those who smiled most lived to be an average of 79.9 years, compared to 72.2 years for the non-smilers. Experts say being happy reduces your risk of heart disease. So if that's the case, I'm never going to die. So darn happy. And another story here from Lakewood, California. A 25-year-old guy said he just wanted the pilots to say hello by flashing their lights on and off. That's why he was shining a green laser at the airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Acting on a
Not
tip
smart.
from a neighbor. No, this is a bad idea. Do not ever do this. Acting on a tip from a neighbor, sheriff deputies arrested this man. His actions were criminal, even though he said he apparently did not intend to cause harm. He's now been booked on 9 counts of, get this, first-degree unlawful discharge of a laser. Didn't know that was a thing.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Which is a felony. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison. Can you imagine if this guy does have to go to prison? Can you imagine how awful that would be, sitting in prison? So what you in for?
Couldn't they charge him with attempted murder? Because aren't you trying, when they shine those things, they're trying to cause an airplane to crash.
He says he was trying to get them to flash their lights on and off.
Right, because that's a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing either. I don't think airplanes have headlights, do they?
I don't think they
if you
work like a car.
If you do one of these things where you pull your arm down like you're trying to get the semi to honk his horn, do you think airplanes do that? Merp, merp. See what I did there? I don't think that works either. I don't know. I'll have to try it. Does everybody else know what I was just doing? The whole is that universal?
Yeah, I believe
to get a semi
universal.
to honk their horn, you pull your arm like you're pulling on the thing.
I think it is. I don't know. I knew what it was. We used to do it all the time when we were kids.
This doesn't translate well to radio. This is an action here. My right arm, I'm pulling down like I'm. Anyway, let's gotta move on. Hey, we all know that women outlive men, but now there's evidence that women also stay smarter longer than us dumb guys do as well. We need to do a research study on this. Researchers say women tend to retain their overall intelligence longer than men in areas of vocabulary and general knowledge. Men tend to remain superior in the area of arithmetic. Mama's wrong again. No, that is not the case for me. Now, maybe there's other dudes out there that are smart as a whip when it comes to math, but I already announced once today
well,
that
at least you're not going to lose the math skills that you have. That's good.
Good news is I have a calculator on my phone, and I can find it once in a while. It's in the apps somewhere. All right. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday at this time, just because we can. We usually pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
Today, we're not picking up the phone. He's here. How you doing?
Well, you know, you'd lure me in with a couple of ribs from a place, and here I am.
We tricked him into staying. So he
Tricked him
was-
with food.
Yeah, he was going to just come visit for a couple hours, and we made him stay. We held him hostage is what we've done.
Food and booze.
There you go. We know the way to your heart.
Works every time.
So what kind of cool stuff are we going to learn about today, Charlie?
Well, you know who Tom Selleck is.
Yeah, Magnum PI. Yeah, of course.
Do you know back in the day he was offered the role of Indiana Jones but had to turn it down because of scheduling with Magnum PI?
Really?
I couldn't have seen him as that role anyway.
I could see him do that.
No,
Yeah.
No.
not when you see who really
Right.
did it.
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe Tom Selleck could do it, but his mustache was busy.
I noticed this the other day when Grandma was fixing a drink, that lemons float in water, but she uses limes and they'll sink to the bottom.
So lemons float, but limes
Oh,
sink.
I've never noticed
Yeah.
before.
Well, that's because you don't booze it up.
Yes, I do.
You
I've just
too.
never paid attention.
Why would you? Who cares? It's in there. I don't care if it's floating or not. Hey, then, did you know that Ronald Reagan is the only president to go through a divorce in his lifetime?
No kidding.
I didn't know that.
Not anymore.
I didn't know
Donald
that.
Trump has. So, no, not anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
now,
yeah.
But when that was written, it probably was true. I can't think of anybody else.
Well, as of today, it's true. I don't know. Hey, then an octopus can attach itself to any surface but AstroTurf.
Really?
Really?
Now, what's the chance of an octopus getting attached to AstroTurf anyway? I don't know.
Maybe he's taking in a ball game or something. You never know.
Hey, Hey, here's something up my alley.
Okay.
There are more toilets in the U.S. There's like 350 million of them than people. They were only at 315.
So there's more toilets in the U.S. than there are people in the U.S.?
Yep.
Wow. If only we could get toilets to vote.
Hey, then I got one last thing here for you.
What's that?
Okay, I wouldn't want to be a bee. Male honeybees' balls explode after they reach an orgasm and then they die.
No kidding.
Boom! Oh!
That's the way I want to go.
I'm dead.
Wow.
See,
That's unfortunate.
that is
Yeah,
very
for him.
That's very unfortunate. So
That could be why bees are going extinct. Maybe that was a design flaw.
We got to work on that.
now we know.
I wonder if somebody could invent something you could like inject them with where that doesn't happen, and that would solve the honeybee problem.
You got to have a pretty small needle to put something in there.
So here's the thing I never understood. They talk about, having the conversation about the birds and the bees. I never had the talk. So what are birds and bees doing anyway?
Well, I know what bees are doing. They're
Exploding.
But according to that conversation, are birds doing it with bees? Is that what's going? Why do they call it the birds and the bees talk? I never understood it.
I have no idea.
I never got that talk either.
I just give you
I
the
was just
facts.
told the truth.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You didn't have to have the talk. Growing up, you had HBO.
Knob alert.
I learned the birds and the bees from the movie Hard Bodies.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, are you ready for a question from us?
Oh, we got a question, too?
I do. I got a question for you.
Okay.
In Italian, what does the word Pinocchio mean? What does the word Pinocchio mean in Italian?
Guy with the big honker.
No. It means pine head.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Oh,
pine head
that
is
makes sense.
Pinocchio in Italian.
Yeah, I read that somewhere once, but, it's my mind. It's up here. It's just, you got to pull it in.
You know what? I'm the exact same way. And half the stuff you tell me, I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I read that one time.
Well, I probably told you one time. So
Yeah,
that's why you know.
You and I both have this special ability to forget things pretty easily so that we can entertain each other by telling the same stories over and over and over.
Don't take. What's your name?
Well, did you have a nice Memorial weekend, Charlie?
Well, it's not over yet, but pretty soon because I'm leaving this crappy office. I'm going to join the union, and then you're really screwed.
The union.
There's got to be a union for us guys, ain't there?
Yeah, something like that. Well, if he joins the union, we'll never have Tuesdays with Charlie again, will we?
It'll be done.
All right. Well,
I'll
we're not
move
going
on
to let
to
that happen.
Bigger and better things.
Unless the union demands ribs and booze, we can probably swing that.
Yeah, there you go. That would be okay then if that's all you guys are demanding.
We can work that in.
Very good. Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to have you here. It was fun to have you in the studio rather than talking to you over the phone.
Yeah, it's much more fun.
Do you like it better in person or do you like it better over the phone?
No, I like it in person.
There you go.
Because I had to look at your ugly face that way.
We do what we can.
Feel the love.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to you again next week, Charlie.
Well, it'll be on the phone, though.
Okay.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
According to Make Fun Safe, or Make Safety Fun, some website, a typical American driver will honk their horn 15,250 times in their lifetime. I am way below average.
I am way below.
hardly
I
ever.
never honk my horn.
I have. I've honked it. Usually when I get a new car, I'll do it just to see what does my horn sound like. Otherwise, if you don't know, it's like, I don't even know what my horn sounds like. So you got to honk it. But not 15,000
I didn't honk
times.
it. I had one car. We had one car that I had never honked the horn. And I didn't know what our horn sounded like. And then I was in a situation where somebody was backing out of a parking spot and they were going to hit me. And I had to honk my horn. And I laughed because the horn was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, well, what is that going to do? It's not going to stop anybody.
I'm sure glad I have a horn. Sounds like a duck just choked on something.
So I probably should test those before I purchase a car.
You don't want to be caught off guard. Hey, we only got to one. So another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The name WALL-E. Remember that movie, WALL-E? WALL-E stands
yes,
for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class. And one more fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In the movie The Little Mermaid, King Triton wanted Ariel to refrain from swimming near the surface. You know why? He was afraid that she would be seen by humans, who he thought were barbarians. So, as it turns out, she was seen by humans, who were barbarians.
She was not.
She wasn't seen by humans?
She was seen by humans, but because she chose to be,
Yeah,
she
well, there you go.
had the evil witch give her legs and she went on to land.
There you go. See? She should have listened to her dad. Anyway, couple of fun facts
She
for
ended
you
up
right
getting
there.
married and staying on land.
See? I should
So
watch
it
the
really-
movie sometime.
It turned out fine.
Okay. I never really watched that one, so I don't know what I'm talking
That
about.
was probably my favorite Disney movie. I
Nice.
love that one.
This break is way longer than it's supposed to be. But it has been a whole lot of fun facts brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Movies and TV with no monthly fee. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight this summer before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free with an email to pinkdrinkfree@gmail.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. Are you one of them? People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it with an email to pinkdrinkfree@gmail.com. That's pinkdrinkfree@gmail.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. An antioxidant compound called resveratrol, or something like that, is found in red grapes and peanuts and is already known to improve heart health. Well, Heidi, it might also help prevent memory loss as we age. At least it's working in rats. A study led by Akoff Shetty of Texas A&M Health and Science Center College of Medicine, the team found over a 2-year period that aged rats who received resveratrol improved both spatial learning and memory, while rats that were not given this antioxidant that I can hardly pronounce experienced a marked decline in these functions. In addition, this resveratrol helped the rats grow and develop more neurons than the rats in the control group that didn't have it. So, as well as an increase in blood flow in the brain and reduced inflammation in the hippocampus, part of the brain that's responsible for memory and spatial navigation. And he said it's possible that resveratrol treatment during middle age could not only prevent delay changes in memory and mood, but could also be used to treat Alzheimer's patients. So that's pretty cool stuff.
There you go.
I wonder if I'm saying it right. resveratrol. I was saying resveratrol. I'm sure that's wrong. It's probably resveratrol. Sure, that's how you say it. Nailed it. I should quit trying to speak. Have this program. I'll just phone it in from now on. No, I pronounce a good 80 to 90% of the words right. Okay, maybe that's
That's a high number.
I appreciate you guys listening, and I also thank you for all the notes from people who appreciate the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about. I had a guy who says, it makes me feel better to know that I'm not the only one out there that doesn't know how to say these things. So that's why I do it. I'm faking it just to make you feel better. That's what it is.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at ChannelSurferTV.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Not everybody, but almost everybody. It says 96% of drivers feel drowsy driving is an unacceptable behavior. Yet almost a third of us, 32%, admitted to driving when they were so tired that they had difficulty keeping their eyes open and that was 32% had done that in the last month, according to the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety. Now, we have this wonderful relationship here, my wife and I. I'm the designated driver. She's a designated drinker. But there are times where I'm driving and I'm tired, and then she's a designated nagger. She's like, "Oh, are you falling asleep? Wake up. What are you doing over there?"
It is so dangerous. And there are so many times I look over at you, your eyes are shut.
No, I just closed that one eye. That one eye towards you.
Yeah, the one towards me is closed.
I closed that one. I was sleeping with one eye open.
So dangerous.
No, it is. So that's one of those things. I watched a program where if you nod off for a second, you think it was a second. That was like minutes. So be careful out there. If you get drowsy, do what I do. Pull over and take a nap. That's a much better plan. Coming up, we got another fun story we're going to chat about here in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Giving kids too much candy could lead them to murder, according to a new study.
Whoa.
That escalated quickly.
That did escalate
Research
quickly.
published in the British Journal of Psychiatry shows that children who ate sweets daily were prone to commit savage crimes as adults.
Holy cow.
Giving children candy and chocolate regularly may stop them from learning how to wait to obtain something they want. According to a study participant, not being able to defer gratification may push them toward more impulsive behavior, which is strongly associated with delinquency. So, if you give your kids chocolate now, you could be raising a killer, according to that study. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I think so too.
But-
I had chocolate every day.
Well, there were times that you threatened to kill me, too, so I don't know about that.
But did I follow through?
No, you
I
haven't
don't
yet.
think so.
Not yet, because I'm a sweet talker. So, and I usually give you chocolate. I think that's how it works out. All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. A couple of fun things to get to. We got some good news at the end of the program, and one more story coming up from Men's Fitness on the way.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Have you heard of a wearable? Do you know what a wearable is?
No.
Wearable technology. It's stuff that you put on. Anyway, there's all kinds of wearables now packed with tons of sensors. They can track everything from skin temperature to blood oxygen to steps taken and even sleep quality. But what if they could actually tell us when we're getting sick? If you could strap on a little bracelet that would say, excuse me, you're about to get sick. Would you wear something like that?
No?
Well, apparently they can, or at least soon they will be able to. For a year, Stanford University scientists there followed 43 subjects that were strapped with as many as 8 different tracking devices. Can you imagine? What's all that stuff you're wearing? I'm sorry. I'm in a study. 8 tracking devices. Anyway, they gathered more than 250,000 measurements, even radiation exposure, made some amazing finds like what causes jet lag. It's falling blood oxygen level in flights. That's how you get jet lag. So,
Okay.
They also learned how to detect inflammation and the risk of type 2 diabetes. They even diagnosed a case of Lyme disease before it became full-blown. Makes you wonder if they would be able to track the common cold fairly soon. All of this from Men's Fitness. And I don't have the full article, just what I read you, so I'm not sharing it on Facebook. But Men's Fitness is where it came from. So if you really wanted to look, I suppose you could. I think it's fascinating. I don't have any wearable devices. I had one.
And you busted
I
it.
got a Fitbit, and my wrist was so fat that it snapped, so I needed a fat bit, apparently, is what I needed. Fitbit didn't
They
work.
do have different bands for those. Did
Do
you
they?
know that?
I
You
didn't
could
know
have
that.
bought a new band.
I don't know where it is.
I don't know if you
It's
just
somewhere.
threw it away.
It's
or
probably
what
in
you
this
did with
drawer
it.
over here. I think that's where Jimmy Hoffa is, too. My drawers. Have you looked in there lately?
I try to stay away from all of your areas.
I looked in there trying to find something the other day, and I started pulling stuff out from like 3 years ago. I'm like, what is this? Half-eaten candy bar. Who was eating this? Little mouse bites out of it. No, that was not in the drawer, but I do have some weird things in there. I've got a great good news story to get to. We'll be doing that here in just a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is really good news. This is a really, really cool idea. Now, think about this. For those of you who have children like to go play fun games and go do all kinds of fun stuff, but that's not something that everybody can do. It says here, even in the wide world of restaurants, there are very few places like Chuck E. Cheese, where mobs of children come to play video games and crawl through tubes and scarf down pizza. But what happens if you have kids that are not able to have all that sensory overload, all the noise and the mayhem? It's a problem for kids with autism. In response, Chuck E. Cheese Entertainment, the CEC Entertainment Group, the owners of the chain, announced a national rollout of what they're calling sensory sensitive Sundays. This is a neat idea.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the first Sunday of every month. The restaurants have these events that take place during a 2-hour window, and it's before the restaurant opens to the general public. So it's not like you're turning away other people saying, hey, sorry, we're going to change our plans. They're saying we're opening special hours for people with the special needs. This is a great idea. I know people who have children that have autism that can't do this kind of stuff because the sensory overload would just be a huge problem. So I think this is neat. It's the first Sunday of every month. During that time, staffers dim the lights and they kill the music and they unplug the famous animatronic stage show. So Chucky's not singing at you and stuff. But there's an environment that's more suitable for children with sensory challenges. I think that's really cool.
That's
I've got
really
a link.
sweet. I like that.
Get a link to this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. A while back, we talked about a movie chain that was doing special showings of certain movies where they didn't turn the lights off and where they, had the volume a little bit lower. And it was designed for the exact same thing. I think it's really cool that there are people out there that recognize that some people have special needs that we could very easily accommodate with just a little tiny bit of effort. This is such a great idea. I hope it goes really, really well. Like I said, I've got a link to it on our Facebook page. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Time now for a bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us right now, Christmas Abbott, and we've got a really cool new book coming out. It's called, I don't know if I can say this on the radio, The Badass Life. Oh, that was fun to say, though. Christmas, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You put a naughty word in that title of the book, didn't you?
I did. Well, that describes me, so.
Well, now, let's talk a little bit about the book. Is this your first book? It's not your first book, is it?
This is my second book. So the first one was about nutrition and exercise.
Yeah.
This one is about lifestyles, habits, and finding that balance between the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects.
Very cool. How long did it take to put this one together, Christmas?
It's an accumulation of a lot of my experiences and lessons learned from those experiences. So technically, I've been working on it for about my lifetime.
Okay.
Really putting it together for the last year and a half or so.
And the title, The Badass Life, that's the title. Then the secondary title is 30 Amazing Days to a Lifetime of Great Habits, Body, Mind, and Spirit. So, the more we talk there, the more it kind of explains that it's not about going out and getting in trouble or anything. It's about having a lifestyle that, is kind of a badass lifestyle.
Yeah, you want to be proud of your life and what you do on a daily basis. For me, I'm a little bit of a rebel in my life, and so I take these experiences and I want people to learn from my mistakes, but also learn how I've become super appreciative of my life and how I kind of take the bull by the horns and run with it. And I think that's an appropriate title.
There you go. When people get this book, what are some of the things they can expect to learn inside of here?
So what I do is every chapter is a different day. So you have 30 chapters, 30 days. And every day is a different habit. So basically, I challenge you to, take control of your thoughts, what I call mental tenacity, and being able to apply that to the rest of your life, which then your body and then your spirit will follow. So having gratitude, and every day you have a daily challenge. So sometimes the challenge will be something to do, something kind for somebody without expecting any return. That's kind of nice, right? Because then if we expect a return, we're always indebted to something that we've done.
Yeah.
And then, to make sure that you feed yourself properly, fueling yourself with positive thoughts and having affirmations and gratitude. It breaks it down for every day. You have one challenge that you can practice diligently, or you can take one chapter and practice that for a week or more and feel like you've really gotten the hang of it.
Very nice. This is quite the concept as you go through, because it's talking about changing your life, one little step at a time. But that's the right way to do it, isn't it?
We have what I call layer in success. We tend to think that we need to change everything all at once. I want it right now. We are a generation of instant gratification, and that is only going to set you up for failure. So you have these small things that you implement over time that you, once on the front end, you kind of do the work on the front end, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking about how you can do it, you're practicing it, and then eventually it becomes part of your everyday routine, and that's what we want to. We want to get to a point in our life that we're doing these positive things for ourselves and our family, and it bleeds into everything else that we do, but only a little bit at a time. Overloading it on the front end only makes us want to quit.
Well, and you don't want to get into something that you can't finish, because then if you quit, it wasn't really worth doing in the first place.
Well, sometimes you can take the experience away from it, which is also called successful failures. So if you get into a routine and you fall off the wagon, or if you mess up, that doesn't mean that you failed. That just means that you have to go back and hop back on and keep applying yourself. We find this good consistency through practice. And just like sports, we have to practice our habits every day until they become second nature. So it's okay to mess up. Absolutely. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. And if sometimes, for me, that may have taken a little bit longer than for you, but the point is to keep going at it and not give up.
Again, our guest today, Christmas Abbott. She's a national best-selling author of The Badass Body Diet. Now she's got a new book called The Badass Life. Also a former NASCAR pit crew member. I got to ask you, what was that like, being a NASCAR pit crew member?
It was pretty darn thrilling. There definitely was zero dull moments. It's kind of like the military, wait, go. But instead, we're waiting around for the car to come in, and then we just have to go do our job. And it was so very exciting, really thrilling.
And that is not a place that you typically think you're going to find a lot of ladies. Were there other women working in the pits as well, or were you kind of a real minority there?
I was a real minority there. There are a few drivers that are women, but at the Sprint Cup level, I was the only female in the pit working.
Wow, that's really cool. And that experience, I'm sure, was a fun experience. And everything that you've done, I'm reading, you do have a badass life, don't you? You got all kinds of cool stuff you've done. And she's now written the book about it.
I like to try new things.
Again, Christmas.
That's one of the things that I encourage people most is to try new things, and that's what lends itself to these adventures.
There you go. Again, our guest today, Christmas Abbott. The book is called The Badass Body Diet. That was the original one. And now her new book is called The Badass Life, and the secondary title, 30 Amazing Days to a Lifetime of Great Habits, Body, Mind, and Spirit. It's available right now. Christmas, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us about this today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. And I've got a copy of the book right here. It's a good-looking book. It's really nice. I got the hardcover, and holy cow, it's a pretty substantial book. And there's a nice little, I like this in the center here. It says 32 full-page color insert, and it's got all kinds of motivational and inspirational photos, and I'm just looking at that. That's really cool. Are these you, all these photos in here? Is that you?
That is me and my English Bulldog, Fran. She's also a badass.
Nice.
We took a photo for every chapter and then put the chapter title on each photo.
There you go. So there's Christmas being her badass self. So again, I just like saying the title of the book now. So there you go. I already got away with it 12 times. Why not 13? The book is called The Badass Life: 30 Amazing Days to a Lifetime of Great Habits, Body, Mind, and Spirit. It's available right now. And I've got a link to the book if you're trying to find it right at our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.